We want to continue to talk about some of the big stories coming out of Glendale when it comes to security and really prepping out right outside of State Farm Stadium. And we learned today of the situation that played out of a armed individual that was arrested and taken away from the site. So we want to go out right now, right outside, live outside of State Farm Stadium. That's where we find Fox 10 Phoenix's Nicole Krasean joining us here with a breakdown of this individual, not only armed, but also with knives as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I did actually want to share that we have a update. I mean, pretty much just within the last few minutes. I'm going to read this statement that was sent out by Turning Point USA about Joshua Runkles, the individual who you're describing who was arrested. So it does appear, this is the statement from spokesperson Josh Colvette from Turning Point USA. Quote, I want to add a note of clarity here. This individual was doing advanced security for a known guest planning to attend the memorial service tomorrow. We do not believe this person was attempting anything nefarious. However, the advance was not done in proper coordination with the TPUSA security team or U.S. Secret Service. Also important to note, this was before the site had been fully sealed and locked down. Every precaution is being taken to ensure everyone's safety. That's the end of that quote there. So that changes the story quite a bit, as you can imagine. It seems like this person, Joshua Runkles, was doing what he believed to be some advanced security. He approached an officer with DPS and was talking to that officer about the fact that he was supposed to be there and he just didn't have the right credentials, it seemed. He did have a CCW permit out of North Carolina, a concealed carry weapon permit, so he was able to have that firearm or firearms on him. So we're still kind of, developing this story, and it seems like right now this person who was arrested was indeed supposed to be here, which I guess is a really good thing to learn. Kind of breathe a sigh of relief that this person they don't believe was doing anything nefarious and was supposed to be there, but just a very high intensity time for everyone, right? Homeland Security has said that this has been given the highest security level. Of course, President Trump, Vice President Vance are coming, so Secret Service here doing their job. So we appreciate, of course, people, doing their due diligence to make sure that people are supposed to be there. And it sounds like this miscommunication could have escalated very easily. So we are happy to say it seems like Joshua Runkles was there doing what he said he was supposed to be doing rather than trying to get in for any violent act. But of course, it's just such a tense time right now, and people are worried about their safety at such a large event.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Nicole. And it seems like also just a big breakdown in communication where something got across there, and definitely could have been a way different outcome if things really escalated fast, given the conditions that we're in right now. Nicole, what can you tell us right outside of the stadium there? We were told earlier that a lot of fencing was going up as well. What can you tell?
Yeah, so we're actually in the parking lot of a nearby hotel. This was about as close as we could get. There's several other members of the press that are set up around here as well. This seems to be the closest access we can get to the stadium today. I can step out of the frame and tell you that if you look a little bit closer to the stadium, you will see those road closed signs. There are several crews here who are putting up barriers. I will be honest with you, I've been out here for several Cardinals-related events, and right now, as far as the day before this event, you can see people are walking around, members of the public. So it doesn't feel that different from maybe them preparing for a game like this, but we all know that it's much different and that there is a much higher stakes. The people who are coming, we know Homeland Security, as I mentioned, has said this is going to be given the highest security detail, as it should, with the slate of speakers and the politicians who will be here. But right now, pretty normal. They are putting up those barricades, of course. They are putting up those road closure signs, but there has been a little bit of information withheld as well with that because they don't want to give away too much information about parking access or specific road closures just in case there are any extremists that do come out here. So we know that there's 63,000 people that can be in this stadium. They're expecting more than that. We've heard numbers close to 100,000 people are expected to show up for this. So it's just a big, security need for everyone to follow the rules, and like you mentioned, those communication breakdowns, those could end in much bigger trouble if people don't follow specific rules and guidelines that are given for them.
Yeah, no doubt. But luckily, the new news coming within this hour paints a way different picture than what we were thinking really on the eve of this big event, thinking, oh, wow, or somebody getting very close. But now it looks like a totally different story right there. And expecting all these people, like you said, there are 100,000 people that could be coming. Is there any thinking from the police or any other agencies that will there be any protesters? I know I hate to say it talking about a memorial, but since we live in this politicized world that could happen, are they thinking there will be any protesters around the stadium tomorrow?
So I think that this is a situation, as you mentioned, with just how high the tensions are and, how divisive people have been surrounding this topic. I think they're preparing for really anything. I think they're preparing for there to be some counter protests. I think they're preparing for people to come out as individuals, potentially trying to start trouble. They really want to make sure that anything that could happen is prepared for. So just any member of the general public, of course, that is able to come out. They were invited, but you aren't to bring any bags. It's not even a clear bag policy. There's no bags allowed. Any well-wishers or mourners who would want to bring flowers or other mementos are not able to do that. They really just want people coming in with, nothing on their person, because this is going to be highly scrutinized. Everyone that comes in is going to be going through, I would say, multiple levels of security checkpoints. And so to answer your question, I think they're preparing for any and all of the above and just really trying to tighten up any loose ends that they can and make sure that people are following the correct procedures, whether it's a member of the public, a member for us of the press, or anyone else that is there to pay their respects or to attend.
No doubt. Nicole, thanks so much for giving us the updates. They're right outside of the stadium in Glendale, State Farm Stadium. We appreciate all of the updates. Thanks again.
Thank you.